All right. So this is going to be for Wednesday's class when I'm absent. I'm going to go over unit conversion. I'm going to go over some things I covered at the end of class and some things that are new. So let's go over what I covered at the end of class on Tuesday. So unit conversion is called dimensional analysis. And let's say I want to convert 5 kilograms, right? I want to convert 5 kilograms and I want to convert that into grams. So into grams. Well, I'm going to start with this equation, right? I'm going to start with these rules. If you are converting a non-base unit, which is kilograms, into a base unit, which is grams, right? So grams, meters, and seconds are base units. Then we follow these steps. We want to set up an equation here. The number 5, the prefix kilo, and the unit, which is grams, is equal to something. So we're going to carry the number 5 to the other side. And we're going to substitute this prefix kilo with a number. Well, we know that if we take a look at this chart, powers of 10, we know that 1 kilo is 10 to the 3. So we're going to replace kilo, so I'm going to put parentheses kilo with 10 to the 3. And then I'm going to carry my base unit over. So we have 5, we have kilo, which is 10 to the 3, and we have grams. And so all I'm doing here is I'm substituting these numbers, guys. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just substituting 5 kilos 10 to the 3 and then grams. And then when I solve this, I get 5 times 10 to the 3 grams. Right? Because this parentheses is also a multiplication. And so that's my final answer. Right? We simplify the numbers and we carry the base unit to the other side. Now, let's try and do something a bit harder. Let's say I want to convert 300 cm. C means centi, right? If you take a look at this powers of 10 chart, C is centi. And then when you follow that prefix by unit M, that's going to be your base unit. So grams, meters, and seconds are your base units. Grams is G, meters is M, seconds is S. So you want to convert centimeters into meters. So I'm going to write 300 cm. And we're going to carry our 300 over, right? So 300. Well, centi, according to your reference table, according to your powers of 10 chart, is 10 to the negative 2 meters. And so what we're going to do is going to simplify this now. 300 times 10 to the negative 2 meters. Well, what's 300? Well, if you learn in math class, 300 has 2 zeros. So 300 is going to be 3 times 10 to the 2. 2 zeros, 10 to the 2. And then, well, if you plug it in here, well, how do you solve exponents? Well, when you multiply exponents, you add them. That's the rule. So 10 to the 2 plus negative 2 meters. Well, what do you know? They cancel out. 3 times 10 to the 0 meters. And we know that 10 to the 0 has 0 zeros. Well, what's 10 with 0 zeros? 1. And so you get 3 meters. And that's a bit more difficult question. So let's try to convert something else. Let's say we want to do the opposite. Actually, let me do one more practice with you guys. Let's say we want to convert 2 microseconds into seconds. I want to convert 2 microseconds into seconds. First thing we're gonna do. Well, I'm gonna abbreviate it, right? So because micro, according to reference table, is this U right here, and we know seconds is S. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna carry this 2 over. And now we want to substitute the prefix. The prefix is U. So it's 10 times -6, right? According to your powers of 10 chart. Micro is 10 to the -6. And we're just going to carry our base unit over. That's it. This is the answer. 2 times 10 to the -6 seconds. That's it. So let's say we want to do the opposite now. We want to convert a base unit, something like 5 grams, and we want to convert it into kilograms. So what was it? How do we do that? How do we do that? Well, we want to set up our equation first, right? 5g is equal to what? And so we're going to carry our number to the other side. Now, we want to find out what our base, non-base units prefixes. The non-base units prefix is kilo. All right. So if we look at our powers of 10 chart, we know that 1 kilo is 10 to the 3. It's 10 to the 3. But instead of multiplying it by 10 to the 3 this time, we're going to multiply this number by the inverse of this prefix. Right? We want to multiply it by the inverse of this prefix. The inverse meaning 10 to the -3. That's what I mean by inverse. All right, so when you're converting from a base unit into a non-base unit, you're multiplying it by the inverse of that notation. So I'm going to do 5 times 10 to the -3 kilograms. I'm going to carry our unit. I'm going to simplify this number. It's already simplified. And this is, we want to write out our final unit, right here. Now, let's do a slightly harder problem. Let's say we want to convert, let's say we want to convert 500 meters, and we want to convert that into millimeters. Well, first off, we're going to set up our equation, 500 m, right? M being meters. We want to set up an equal sign. We want to carry our number to the other side. Well, what is our non-base unit? Our non-base unit here is milli. And we know that 1 milli, according to your reference table, according to your powers of 10 chart, is 10 to the -3. And we're going to multiply, well, and what we're going to do now is we're going to multiply the base number, which is 500, by the inverse of this number. So the inverse of 10 to the -3 is 10 to the 3. That's our inverse. Okay, you multiply it by 10 to the 3. So we're going to multiply 500 by 10 to the 3. And we're going to simplify this number now. Right, so we're going to simplify this number. 500 times 10 to the 3. And if you know, 500 is the same as 5 times 10 to the 2, because that's 2 zeros. So 5 times 10 to the 2 times 10 to the 3. You simplify it, you add these exponents, 5 times 10, because we know when you're multiplying 10 exponents, you add them. So 5 times 10 to the 5 and you're going to write out your final unit. Your final unit is millimeters. And so that's your final unit. So 500 meters, there are 5 times 10 to the 5 millimeters in 500 meters. All right. That's it, guys. Again, if you're doing base unit into non-base unit, you multiply the base number by the inverse. If you're doing non-base into base, you just multiply it by the notation, the regular notation. All right, guys.